Hey everybody, it's Naya. Welcome back to Naya Reads and Smiles. Hello everybody. Today I have a very exciting, heartfelt video. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 things that young adult books have taught me in my life, 5 life lessons, 5 things that I've just learned after my years and years of reading young adult books. Today's video is inspired by a book that will be coming out on June 5th, which you guys may have seen in my book haul. But thank you so much to HarperCollins. They are sponsoring this video today. It is in honor of Invisible Ghost by Robin Snyder. This book follows our main character, who her best friend is her brother, who is a 15-year-old ghost. Now her brother passed away, but his ghost is still around, and so she hasn't really moved on after his death, and because of that his ghost is still lingering, and they still watch Netflix together, and life has kind of gone on as if he hasn't passed away yet. A certain love interest moves back to her town, and she realizes that she's kind of really separated herself from like the outside world and just life, and this person, this friend, this love interest kind of comes back into her life and joins her old friend group, and she's kind of pulled outside of, you know, her house and kind of back into this old life that she had before her brother passed away. And the more she hangs out with this boy, the less she hangs out with her brother, and she realizes she's really gonna have to deal with his death at some point, especially now that things are kind of moving forward in her life. And it's just a heartwarming boy meets girl plus ghost coming of age sort of story, and I'm super looking forward to reading it. Invisible Ghost comes out June 5th, so definitely check it out. There'll be a link down below if you want to follow the author and purchase the book, pre-order it. I'll have everything down below. Now on to the 5 life lessons that young adult books have taught me. It's gonna get all heart mushy up in here, so just a warning in advance. Okay, number 1. This is probably the most important thing that I think that I've learned from books in my experience of reading hundreds and hundreds of books, and something that I think about all the time, especially when it's like I'm struggling or something like that. I always think back to certain characters in certain books and just heroes and protagonists, and that is that heroes don't start off as heroes. Reading a lot of these books, it always starts off with a character who's just living a normal life, who's struggling like everyone else, and they're kind of thrust into a world, especially in fantasy books or books dealing with magic. Just think of like Clary from like the Shadowhunter series, you know, like she was just a normal student and she's kind of thrust into this world of shadow hunting and demon slaying, and so a lot of these characters don't start off being like the badasses that they are, unless you're Selena Sardothian, in which you just are Selena Sardothian. But most characters always start off as normal people, and they have to learn and make mistakes before they become like the heroes that they are, especially in like these longer series and things like that. I think it's an important lesson in life as well, that like you don't start off, you know, you're not born a doctor, you're not born into like the career or whatever your interest is, you know, you're not born the hero, and you have to become it. And it's something that I just remind myself, it's something that I always keep in mind as well when writing, because I love to write. So, you know, when I'm writing about a character, I remind myself like this person doesn't have to have all these qualities at first, you know, they can start off being, you know, a little bit self-centered or a little bit of this, you know, just like normal people are. You know, you kind of start off in that gray area and you become, you know, morally sound, become the person, you become the hero throughout your life. Number 2, this has to be one of my favorite things that young adult books have taught me, and I think this is something that other people have realized as well, and that is that friendships are just as, if not more important than relationships. Especially like if you look at a lot of these books, young adult books especially, a lot of older young adult books, I think we're so focused on like the relationships, and you know, we're very insta-lovey, but you know, young adult books now are so focused on friendship, and I absolutely love that, because I think that's so true in life. Is friendships are so underrated and are finally in young adult books, you know, being brought to light. Again, I'm going to use the example of the Shadowhunter series by Cassandra Clare, because I think it's just one of the best examples of all of these life lessons. Simon in that series, you know, Simon and Clary all the way through all 5 books, best friends, you know, they go through ups and downs, but they have each other's back throughout the whole series, throughout all the relationship drama, all that kind of stuff. Their friendship is what holds true and is what helps get both characters, you know, through hard times and things like that. And I think that's just like a really important lesson in life, and I always tell my friends, I'm like, you know, people shouldn't aspire to like get in a relationship. They should aspire to just have amazing friends, because I think that's more important than being in like this crazy vampire relationship or something like that. Number 3, it is okay, like I'm telling you now, it is okay to hit rock bottom and make mistakes, and not just make mistakes, but make horrible, awful, like life-altering mistakes, because that is the only way for you to go up. In a lot of YA books, especially my favorite books, we always have characters that, especially our main protagonist characters, that make some sort of awful mistake and it ends up affecting hundreds of other people, or maybe not hundreds, but just it ends up affecting usually their family or their friends and things like that, and then they have to go and remedy that mistake in order to, you know, to fix everything. So for example, a character might release an awful curse. They might say something to the best friend in the book that's just really hurtful and mean that they shouldn't have said. And so, you know, which I think is so true to life, because again, people make mistakes, people say things they don't mean, people, you know, they hit rock bottom, they lose everything. And I think what YA books have taught me is that that is the point in which characters become a hero, in the sense that it's when they have absolutely nothing left to lose, absolutely everything is ruined, that they're forced to go upwards. There's really nowhere else to go but up, and that sort of ascension and that sort of rise is when they become the hero, after that big awful mistake that they make. And I think that's just something, again, to remind yourself throughout life, you know, like if you failed a test, if you failed a grade, if you failed something, if you didn't get the job, like whatever it is, like that is the catalyst for heroism. I was gonna say heroine. Become a heroine, you know, you have to have those moments. And so I think that's something that I constantly remind myself of. Okay, number 4. This is one of my favorite life lessons on this top 5 list. Something that YA books have taught me is that something that you may see as a flaw may be the one thing that actually makes you unique and special, makes you the hero of your own story. Our main character Percy in the Percy Jackson series, I'm gonna use Percy Jackson as an example because this is like something that I learned as soon as I read that book. You know, Percy, he's dyslexic and he's always had trouble reading. He's gone to a bunch of different schools because he just can't learn and can't focus like other kids can, and he's always saw that as a flaw, until he's thrusted into this world and realizes he's a demigod, and realizes the reason why he is dyslexic isn't because it's like a flaw or a mistake. Later learns that the reason why he has dyslexia is because he is half god and his eyes were never meant to just read normal words. You know, he's meant to read, you know, Greek symbols and all that kind of stuff, and it's just a sign that he's a demigod and he has all this power and he's a hero, and just, oh, I just love it so much. I'm gonna like tear up. The last thing, number 5, and this is something that I see not just in romance books, but in fantasy books, in contemporary books, in historical fiction books, in any book where a person is pushed outside of themselves to go on a mission, to go on a trip, to do something, to go on some sort of adventure. A lot of the times the thing that pushes them to go and become this hero is love. A family member, a friend, you know, the person they love, it's because of love. Love pushes people to become someone that they may have never thought they could have been or could be. You know, we always hear that saying, you know, that saying like, love made me do it. I think that's so true, especially in young adult books. But anyway, so those are the 5 things that I have learned from YA books. Thank you guys so much for watching. And make sure to check out Invisible Ghosts, again, link down below. Until next time, keep reading, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!